do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to let ourselves make mistakes and learn from them. Right? I feel like this is a topic that's pretty old, beaten to death, but still very much a good one, at least in my mind, when it comes to our capacity to learn from the mistakes that we make. Right? The fact that we can. I don't think I've particularly made any mistakes as of late. Not that I can think of. But I was thinking about my stolen stuff again today. Right? And that definitely was a mistake I had to make. Kind of vibe. To learn from it. I also had a conversation with Christian today, even a video call with Christian. He showed me his room, he showed me the stairs, he showed me the living room, he showed me the outside, he showed me that there is not enough place for his yoga mat. So he's worried that he'll atrophy and turn into a stick man there in Ireland. He went and saw some friends last night, Tom and Annika, two friends that used to live here in South Africa that also moved to Ireland. And I don't want to say he made a mistake. I don't want to say that because I don't think it's true necessarily. But I do feel today's stream topic will slot in with that energy, right? Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, go to another country just to see if you like living in that country. Also joked about him not. Wait a second. Joked about him only seeing a single redhead since since he got there. You know. So yeah, love is true. Christian is doing well. He's safe. He's sound. If you're in Ireland and you have any programming jobs, hit Christian up to put out some feelers. Surely, yeah. There's so many people here that have programming jobs in Ireland. I'm going to heat up my Dynavap. I feel a little bit gentle. I feel gentle. I watched myself make the mistake of labeling my state of being as negative. And I think gentle is a better word. I feel very gentle right now. So calm, so at peace, so unrushed, so unbothered, so unattached. Really unattached. I've been playing a little bit more games. I think that's affecting me a little bit. Am I letting myself make the mistake of playing games again? Maybe a little bit. I do believe I have a lot of self-control though, despite that. Because quarter to two, I was done. I was like, okay, enough. Took some time to gather myself, to meditate a little bit. And I still feel like it might have not been enough. I'm trying to notice what my state of being is trying to tell me, if anything. Joy Vive and Kristen joining us. Bless you, friend. It's nice to have you here. Did you get yourself a new blowtorch lighter, Joy Vive? There's Zano with us as well now. Bless you, Zano. It's nice seeing you. There we go. That was the second last hit of the now that I have left. No, the new that I have left. But the buds I have drying are getting there. So we won't be struggling real soon. We also won't be spending any money, which means that we'll get to save for the camera faster. That's been like my single train of thought. I feel like maybe that's why I'm as taxed as I am as well. So my mind feels very constricted as of late. Like I'm only thinking about a few things. Is that true? Weirdly enough, I think the playing of games, you're so involved, intrigued, focused in that moment on not dying or whatever, that you don't think about things. And I want to liken that to the life experience that we have as well. That if you are 100% preoccupied with survival day in, day out, you do not have the mental capacity to think about things. Never mind think about things that might feel like a failure, right? Never mind trying to do the things that you think might end up in failure. And as a result of that, we end up not learning as much as we might have because we spend our time in a certain level of a mindless state. Or maybe today is just a chill day. It is apparently going to be raining for the next few days, so it's like overcast weather, feels pretty gloomy. That's probably affecting me a little bit as well. Hey, I see Jovan saying good morning again, lovely you. My phone died during yogurts. I was thinking to myself, golly, we're spending a lot of time in this pose. Oh my goodness. That's kind of hilarious. I'm sorry, Jovan. My tablet also let me know that it's on its way out. Thank you for continuing your practice despite your phone dying. If you let yourself make a mistake, then that's not really a mistake, right? I mean, we did use the word mistake, but I feel like, again, that word has a certain level of bias attached to it. Because was it a mistake to leave my things outside? Yes. Yes, it was. And I technically let myself make that mistake. Because I remember, and I feel like this is the part that messes me the most. I remember thinking to myself, because I had one of two options. Right? I was going to bed, and I knew I was going to bed, and I wanted to sleep. So I left I specifically took my Dynavap and grinder and lighter out, and I put it in this bag away from myself. And I was thinking to myself, do you want to have it outside, really? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's fine. Then it's away from me, and I won't have any need or intention or like there's no way I'm gonna get up, right? Kind of vibe. And then the next morning I find out that that was an error on my part, right? And technically I did let myself make that mistake, and I learned from that mistake. I learned some things about myself. I learned some things about how humanity is seen by me, how I am affected by things happening, how my choices lead to certain possibilities. And again, if I didn't make that mistake, I wouldn't have grown in the ways that I was allowed to grow following that experience. And then we can like go to the higher dimensional perspective, Zano, and be like, the highest version of me knew that was a mistake and still wanted me to make it, right? So that I can learn the things I was supposed to learn. Dude, so I went on Amazon to get one, and the butane is sold separately, which makes sense. But when the butane couldn't be shipped to my address, also I hate my Dynavap. I don't like being inconvenienced. I'm gonna get a PAX. I didn't go to the smoke shop because I didn't want to pay the retail markup. There's not gonna be any real retail markup. They're pretty cheap. They're like the ones I get here in South Africa is $4. They cost $4. So I can't imagine they'd be that expensive. It is up to you, at least, you know. I'm sorry that it's not working for you. Apparently the PAX is pretty nice as well. It'll do the job. Love is true. I made a mistake a week ago, and I did not handle it gracefully. I beat myself up really bad. I need to do better. Well, maybe the doing better can be a question in this moment. What do you think looking or doing better looks like when you make a mistake? I'm doing it for myself as well now. What does being better look like when I make a mistake? I feel maybe apologizing if your mistake affected other people. I just remembered another mistake. I was actually thinking about this as well today. The jet ski crash during Christmas, right? That was a mistake on my part. And again, I don't really want to say I let myself make that mistake, because that would be a pretty silly mistake to make, because it does affect other people. But I learned a lot from that experience as well. I learned a lot about other people's behavior, right? The person whose jet ski it was handled the whole situation pretty well, everything considered, right? Was still calm, didn't we have a word in Afrikaans, was nie opvleend nie, wasn't quick to anger, right? So yeah, I learned a lot from that as well. And I feel, again, you beautifully said it actually, Kristen. In that mistake, the thing that I could do better as well is not beat myself up so much, because I was having a rough time in my own mind, being like, you useless, stupid, good for nothing, right? Like, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but that is kind of like the way it feels in your mind. Can't ship butane because it's hazmat. It's $8 a can at Home Depot. Yeah, exactly. You can buy them everywhere, but I forgot that Jody doesn't leave her home anymore. I need to do better. Is still you beating yourself up, applying guilt to your behavior. Is that really what you need in order to do better? I need to forgive myself better. Yeah, forgive yourself harder, Christine. Christine. I guess I'm making mistakes as well now. Kristen, forgive yourself harder. That's the only way. I don't think it works that way. I think there's a certain level of dissociation that at least happens in me. I remember during that weekend as well, I had to kind of like forget about it. I had to dissociate. I had to forget that this thing happened. I think uh, you haven't bought a butane torch in that case, have you, Joyviv? You can't say you hate the Dynavap. Also, I hate my Dynavap. You can't say you hate it if you haven't used it properly, right? That's like that's like riding a bicycle backwards and being like, yeah, this fucking sucks. This sucks. I keep driving into things. I keep falling, on my ass driving this bicycle backwards. This thing sucks. Nobody should drive bicycles. I should buy a motorcycle instead. But then as soon as you figure out how to drive the motorcycle, of the bicycle, the bike, now it's fun. Now suddenly it's fun. You get to get on your little bicycle, go for a little stroll, see the beauty of the world. Still too much care. Bring down the care meters. I wasn't meaning to call out. I leave my house sometimes. I have to get some labs done tomorrow morning, so I'm going out in the world. I took the garbage out yesterday and I realized I hadn't been out of doors in days. Yeah. I enjoy the outdoors, so I don't feel like I can really want to talk to you about why it's fun to be out here. So your conscience made the mistake and your subconscious did it on purpose. Maybe. I mean, I'm not trying to draw definite lines here, Zano. I'm not saying that's the way that it is. I'm just saying that maybe. Maybe we do that. Maybe we let ourselves make mistakes. Maybe some things can only be learned by making mistakes. Right? Maybe that is the lesson we're supposed to take away from today's stream. Like Joy V, for example, making the mistake of trying to only use her Dynavap with a lighter instead of a. I'm sorry. Um, I need to forgive my love again. Yeah, it's a mind bender. Love is true. I get to the hardware store 4 times a week. I get it. I hear the new packs are okay, but I had the Gen 1 and I hated it. It took forever to charge, and it felt like I never got. Bless you, bro. Yeah, I mean, the electronic vapes do the job as well. It's just, again, as you said, something you have to charge. I guess you have to put butane in your lighter as well, which is basically the same thing as charging your vape. But yeah, for me, it's a durability thing. I know that coils, ceramic bowls, and whatever mouthpiece they use, all of those things, and again, the plastic housing that that thing is made of as well, all of those things are bound to wear. They're bound to get scratched. The batteries are bound to degrade. The coils, that should be rated for pretty long. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. But then again, the ceramic bowl is gonna get caked up, gonna get dirty. Little pieces of debris is going to fall through the little mesh at the bottom and gonna get in your vape, and you can't clean that stuff. And then again, eventually, you're gonna have to throw it away, creating more electronic waste. That is kind of where I'm coming from with this little piece of metal. It's a piece of metal. It metals. Alright? It's not supposed to get broken. At least if you're relatively careful with it. I made a giant mistake over the last week. I let the soil dry out too much on a tray of seedlings and ants moved in. I was having to plant while being covered in ants. Lost most plants, but I learned. Bless you, bro. I'm sorry. Learned some lessons. I'm sorry that you had to go through that, man. Morning, guys. I'm lurking right now. Gonna take my boyfriend to the doctor today. Getting ready. Bless you. Thank you, Katie, for being willing to help. Normally, I would kick the crap out of myself and get really down in the dumps for days, but I had my pity party for a couple of hours and moved on. Yeah, I think maybe there's some wisdom in that as well that Duck Dad just shared, because I found myself doing the same thing. Allow yourself to be sad. If there is reason to be sad, sad, right? Feel sad, feel bad for yourself, right? Woe is me as hard as you can, and then move on. Kind of find it in your heart to accept that this thing has happened, and it is not a defining moment. It will be a moment that won't even be remembered ultimately, if enough time passes. So, why should you ruin this moment for a moment that won't even register as important? Right? And maybe some mistakes are bigger than others, but I think you know what I'm saying. Wow, Joy, is it a fear thing? When I spend that much time indoors, I want to peel my face skin off. I don't think I ever have. I've never. Not even in China. I would go up to the roof and get, you know, open sky. Every day. Every day. Like, I legit do not understand. That's why I say I cannot give Treviv advice, because I don't understand. Right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me in the first place. I'm like, so what am I gonna say? Just enjoy going outside, Treviv. Right? And I've tried to articulate. Like, one of the ones for me is that when you're inside, it basically caps your mind to your roof level, right? It caps your thinking. And this might be a little bit out there and woo-woo, but I do believe it. It caps your thinking into being as high as your ceiling, basically. And then as soon as you exit your home and you see that grand expanse above you, it instantly kind of like forces your brain to reconcile with the fact that you are very small and this experience you're a part of is very big. And that level of thinking, at least for me, jolts a certain level of gratitude and appreciation of myself and my experience. And it allows me to think a little bit more broadly about things. But I can say those words. It doesn't make people want to go outside anymore. Joy B, the same happens to me. I try to remember to at least go sit in the yard. Yeah. I'm working during the eclipse this Monday. It's going to be in one of our cities. It's like weird, really visible. And I'm so nervous about the traffic. Also, our job gives out bottles of wine. I mean, if you're going to be working, then traffic shouldn't be that big of a problem. You're going to be inside a building at least, right? Silver linings? Mm-mm-mm. That they aren't gonna use or haven't used, and I bought one home last night from South Africa. Yeah, we do actually do a lot of wine here in South Africa. I message you all the time, so go forth. I can take it. I know, JVs. I know. Again, right? Don't hate the Dynavap. I hate the Dynavap. Poor Dynavap. I think she also uses this terminology because she knows it's gonna get me riled up and get me all tight neuroned. And like, what? You what now? You fucking what? Love is true, Joyvi. Not hate is true. Small mistakes are fine. I really don't like big mistakes though. Like my dad didn't have a torque wrench when switching my tires with my partner, and he over tightened them by like a lot. If my companion wouldn't have slammed on the brakes, the tire would have exploded off. Like that's a mistake that could kill us. Again, another reason I won't go in the plane with him flying it. I am so confused. Like I feel like I missed. Maybe I'm on all messages. Let me check that. No, I'm still just as confused. Like I don't know how we go from the nuts on the tires being over tightened to having to slam on the brakes before the tires explode. I'm confused. But I can imagine if that is what the stakes were, that must have been absolutely terrifying. I don't go outside for days on end either, dog. It doesn't have a thing to do with fear. I just genuinely enjoy being vampire pale, and I have no intentions of tanning myself like a piece of leather. I stay out of the sun all the time. Like you friends have seen me manically scared of the sun. It's not about getting not paled. It's about spending time outside. It is literally scientifically proven to boost the serotonin production in your brain. Right? Right. It's like we do all of these things. We smoke weed, we drink coffee, we watch television, we do a plethora of other drugs, including SSRIs, which is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, which means that it literally forces your brain to use more of your own serotonin, and you can just get free of it by going outside. Right? Like it's not about the pill or not. It's about taking care of yourself. Maybe you've been making the mistake of staying inside this whole time. And now you get to not make that mistake going forward. Is that the reframe we need? Is that it? I realized the mistake wasn't made because of malicious or lack of caring. It was because I'm overstretched and we can't see everything all the time. Yeah. I live in a place where the air freezes my face. I have to spend time indoors. Yeah, that's true. Uh, and it's when my depression is the worst. But I'm not judging. Joy, much love. And that depression is the worst because you literally have less serotonin in your system, right? And a way that people hear the word serotonin and they kind of like glaze over. So I like to make it very clear to people by going completely numb in my face with my voice inflection. Right now, the reason you're feeling either nothing or uncomfortable is because you're not getting any serotonin, right? Serotonin is an information analog. So when I come closer to you and use my face, information is literally being generated in your brain, and that information is associated with serotonin. So when you have less of that serotonin in your brain, the information gets a little bit more dreary. And then you can go outside and that information goes brightness, moving things, and that information isn't gonna go away. You're gonna have to deal with that information no matter what. Even if you stay indoors, you're gonna have to deal with that information because that information is you. It's you. It's your brain experiencing the information, and you have to figure out how you can cope with that. And it's good to make mistakes, right? Go outside and embarrass yourself, please. Please, have you not been watching me embarrass myself as many times as I can, as regularly as I can? Have you seen me drop dead? Have you seen me shrivel up like a worm, being baked by the sunlight? No. No, I make mistake. I embarrass myself, people laugh, and then I continue. I just go on. You can too, right? Let yourself make mistakes. But don't let yourself make the mistake of staying inside indefinitely, please. I'm jealous of the experience, but I'm sorry about the craziness. Yeah, true. Such a tour, realize. I live in a plane. Okay, there we go. I don't have anywhere to sit outside. I don't have a yard. I have to walk like 10 minutes with a chair to go chill in the park. No, you don't. You just need to walk out the door and stand there for 10 minutes. You literally don't even have to step off of your patio. You can just walk out the door and look at the great expanse. Alright, oh Melt, I'm in the middle of the city. You know, there's buildings all around me. Then point your face up more higher. See a little bit of sky up there. Or find a way to get yourself to the top of the building. Find a way, alright? It's free serotonin. Why not? It's Pojo here. Bless you, dude. Thank you for joining us. Tuesday, I discovered what could have been a huge mistake at work, and I was able to fix it. Listen to the voice in my head that told me to check it. Bless you, Nancy. I hope you are appropriately awarded and recognized for your efforts in fixing these potential problems. It's a huge commute city, and I work inside a hotel. So it'll take me twice as long to get to work. That does suck. I'm sorry, Katie. Maybe because of all of the people, you'll get so many tips, and you'll be so happy at the end of your day that you did show up for your work. I can see that. Bless you. Like it's dangerous to have the bolts over tightened. Yeah, it can like shear off. That I can imagine, but exploding. Wheels exploding, like something has to go like horribly wrong. I can imagine like if the wheels are over tightened and it may be extremely cold, there can be like a shear force and then one of the wheels can come off. But even then, you'll be fine. Like relatively speaking. You can lose a wheel, your car will collapse, but they have been made in a way where they'll be fine. You'll be fine. I agree with the unacceptableness of it, but I also wanna echo your fineness, surely. My house is my sanctuary. Most everything I need or want is here, or I can get it delivered to my doorstep. I just find little reason to leave most of the time, and I agree with you, Joyviv. Like to the word. My house is my sanctuary, and most everything I need or want is here, or I can get it delivered to my doorstep. I just find little reason to leave most of the time. Me too. Me too. Most of the time. And then every time I do leave, I grow. I learn about myself, about other people, and then I get to find out just how much I long for being home again. And then I get to come back to my home and again embrace that sanctuary, that sense of safety, that sense of familiarity. And it feels even better. I get even more rewarded neurologically for that sense of safety, for that, place I can call home. So it's not a one or the other. It's a balance thing. And I've used the word balance, into oblivion in this stream. As the weather warms, I can go sit the backyard but there's lots of bugs out there. You don't have to sit there indefinitely. It's just a momentary thing. I have depressions, but I'm not allowed to take SSRIs because they make me go manic. They gave me night terrors and sleep paralysis. I was getting mangled by sleep paralysis demons on SSRIs myself. I don't know if that's manic behavior, but yeah, my brain and my neurobiology was like, you need to stop, right? You need to stop doing this thing that you're doing to yourself. Please stop. Like, oh, I don't listen. Okay, guess night terrors, guess demons that force themselves on you. That's what you're dreaming about now, until you stop. Still not stopping. Oh, guess suicide is the next option. Like it went bad. Fucking SSRIs. Fuck SSRIs. But it works for some people, so you know, each to their own. I just like walking outside, no sitting. I need to hear the bird song, change of the season, smell the smells, feel connected to the world. Our bodies were meant to live in harmony with nature. I agree completely like that. We are nature, right? Like the whole living in your home is literally a whole Plato's allegory, you know, Plato's cave allegory, becoming manifest again. The real world isn't inside your home, unfortunately. You can look at screens and see reflections of the real world, but yeah, you'll only have reflections, you only have shadows. And I feel, again, it depends on what content you expose yourself to as well, right? From an egotistical bias, I would like to believe that Joy Vive, you know, knows what she's doing because she's letting me into her space, spending all of her time in her home. So surely I am offering some sort of energy that is valuable to someone who might not be attracted to the outside world in the way that I might be. And I get to play this role as a person, as an entity for Joy Vive, and maybe for other people as well. And I don't have to change Joy Vive, and I don't have to get Joy Vive to go to a festival with me. She can just stay where she is, and I can film the festival, and she can look from afar. Right? Maybe I was making the mistake of trying to convince someone of something that they don't need to be convinced of. I can still feel the gesture in me wanting to make more mistakes, being like, no, stop. Stop. Joe is still crazy. I think I missed a few. I need to love again. Sun is shining, birds are singing, the air is good, and the critters are all accounted for. Life is good. Bless you, bro. Now I do melt everywhere around this parking lot slash driveway. If I sit outside, I'll be in the way. Also, there's always kids watching me in the school directly across the street. Watch them back. If kids are watching you, be like, until they stop watching you. And then as soon as they avert their gaze, you can go back to staring at the sky. And then you feel child gaze upon you again. You go. I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm coming back from it. Joy, only 3 more days until it's warm enough for greenhouse, moving day, bless. Okay, maybe explode was an over-exaggeration, bless you, yeah. I was just like super concerned. I was like, bro, I've been driving cars. Like wheels exploding is usually like a big yikes. Mel, the huge mistake I discovered was my mistake. Feeling blessed that I caught it involves something being published of names that are supposed to be anonymous. Woo! That could have been a little bit of a yanks. Just like a wee, like a wee. I'm happy that you caught it in time, Nancy. Bless you, friend. They don't know SSRIs did that to people. I mean, there's like a whole plethora. Hey, Google. What are the potential negative side effects of SSRIs? So nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Didn't have much of those, fortunately. Headaches, I had some of those. Drowsiness, I had some of that, because it would mess with my sleep as well. Dry mouth, not much. Insomnia, there we go. Messing with the sleep. Nervousness, agitation, or restlessness, dizziness. Sexual problems such as reduced sexual desire, difficult reaching orgasm. That's also a, a pretty common one. I don't know if they actually talk too much about the whole sleep effects. But yeah, there is a plethora. Less common side effects are bruising and bleeding, confusion, movement problems such as stiffness or shaking. There we go. Seeing or hearing things that aren't real, hallucinations. I guess I got some of those as well. Being unable to pee. I was able to pee still at least. Muscle twitching. I had, like, again, cold sweats. So if it wasn't night terrors, it was. I mean, maybe it was night terrors, but at least I dissociated enough to not remember. But one of the very poignant moments in my taking SSRIs fractal was waking up to see my parents like concerned looking at me because, in their words, I was screaming so loud that they could hear me in their room, which is literally on the other side of the house, right? And it had to go through 3 doors. I was screaming so loud that I woke them 3 doors down, right? No, it's four. It's my door, then it's the garage, then it's the outside, uh, like fractal where the dogs sleep, then it's the kitchen, then it's another door, then it's a hall, then it's their door again, right? And there's of course a door between the kitchen and the outside stoop as well. And then again, seeing them around me, looking down, and I'm like literally drenched. Like there's a spot on my bed of just sweat. Loss of consciousness, seizures, high temperatures of above 38 degrees Celsius or even higher. Feeling sick, headaches, muscle pains, reduced appetite, tiredness, disorientation, agitation, even psychosis, seizures and fits, and then suicidal thoughts as well. Yeah, I got like in my mind, the bad ones, right? If I just shit myself, I'd be able to cope with that. I can cope with that, but having demons attack me every night, like it was this fractal of I cannot sleep. Like I'm having a rough time trying to just get to sleep. Then I get to sleep, and I'm being sleep paralyzed. And then I wake up screaming in sweat, and then I have to go to school. I have to go to fucking school. And then I go to school and then I fantasize about killing myself. And then I have to do it all over again. And that was like 2 years of my life in high school. And my dad had the fucking audacity at that point in my life to tell me I'm accent on. Those were the exact words. Ah, je zit aan, man. You know what that means? It means stop pretending. Yeah, stop pretending, oh. Stop pretending. Fucking, I'm a good actor, bro. If I can fake depression that well. It's still scary. I have many plans that haven't put any time into the business side of selling them. Just running out of time. Love is true, bro. Like you can keep echoing, running out of time, oh, I'm falling behind. Or you can be like, yeah, this is the reality, but I am doing everything in my power to make sure I can do it. Right? You're saying the exact same thing, but the one makes me pity you, and the other one makes me admire you. All right? What do you want? You want to be pitied? Oh, shame, poor Duck Dad. Or do you want to be like, fucking Duck Dad is a champion. Duck Dad can do anything. Is that a shell? Love you, Shell. It's nice seeing you, friend. No, no, no. Okay. I've always been this way. I had a friend growing up that would call and be like, I've been there. I'll be there in 30 minutes. We're going out. And then she would hang up the phone. Before I could start talking, she knew I would talk her out of coming over and us going out. My mom would harass me so badly to get out of the house. Christian is also like that, Jody. And I feel Christian appreciates at least a little bit when I do convince him to go outside at least. But I get it. I do get it. I believe that if I had to do what I wanted to do, that is what I would do as well, Jody. I would just stay at home. I would stay at home, I'd play games, watch TV, eat high saturated foods, highly processed, high saturated foods, because they've been food scienced into pressing the most of my neurons buttons at the same time. All right. What else? And I probably smoke an exponential amount of weed. That's what I want to do. But if I did just that, my life would go nowhere. I would achieve nothing. I would help no one. I would technically be hurting people, right? Because somebody's gonna have to pay for the weed. Somebody's gonna have to pay for my food and my housing, my energy use, my computer, right? So, yeah. Again, balance. Must have balance. It's good to have fun. It's fine. But, we live in a society where people consume more than they produce. And that's why we find ourselves suffering, unfortunately. Okay, gotta go. Love you. Drive safe. My mom, love again. Doug, it will all come together smoothly. This season is going to be good for you. Bless. Manifest. It's okay, Nancy. Thank you for the love, dear friend. The worst feeling I've ever experienced is the fear and helplessness that weigh the most. They happen rarely, but they can feel crippling when they show up. I feel you, Melody. Yeah, it is a powerlessness thing, with us men, and it's a powerlessness thing for feminine entities as well. But I think for men especially, like we go from feeling like we're making a mistake to being the mistake real quickly, right? Because unfortunately, as men, we are very problem oriented. And if you cannot solve the problem, it is you that falls short. And we would rather be belittled and shouted at and, told what to do than be praised sometimes. And unfortunately, we use that tactic with ourselves. Right? That when you mess up, you're not like, oh, I love you so much for all of this good stuff you did, Melt. No, 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 no. It's like, and then you have to literally either sit down with that part of yourself and listen to it, like look at it, be like, and then you'll realize this part of yourself will get exhausted. It'll be like, okay, I've said the same thing like 50 times at this point. Maybe I'm kind of over it. And then you actually get over it. But the other fractal is distraction, right? Or complaining. We talked about complaining, was it yesterday? Yeah. Yeah. Like the whole fractal of care. That we do care, and that's why we complain. Like you wouldn't complain if you didn't care in the first place. But complaining doesn't help, unfortunately. Complaining is more just the establishment of the problem. And then we're back where we started, with the masculine's problem-solving orientation. Swampy, it seems like it's possible to be a good season, but we'll see. Very stressed, and I'm a firm believer in preparation, and less preparation on the business side as a sales guy is terrifying. I hear you, bro. Good luck, man. Keep pushing. Don't give up. You're in the final stretch now. It seems like you'd be really good at sales. He was in sales, I believe. And he, after doing all of the work of manifesting plant, he sells them, right? And he sold all of them last year. Swampy, love again. Diligence and directed efforts You're gonna crush it this year. Bless. Today is Thursday, and we shall be doing the Thursday thing this evening. Love is true. Do we want to watch Riker get some tail, or do we want to watch some scalding political commentary? Scalding political commentary. I'm not really that into romance TV, right? Like I cannot, for the life of me, watch Grey's Anatomy. I can't. I have partly, little bit enjoyed The Good Doctor, right? Seeing that autistic dude, I saw myself in another world, another fractal, right? I was like, yeah, I feel this dude's heart. I can see how he thinks, and I relate very much to it. And then it just turned into Grey's Anatomy, I think, with the new season, and I couldn't. I was like, bro, please, mercy, have mercy on me. I want to watch whatever you want to show me. Yeah, there we go. That's some trust. That's some trust right there. I like that, Joy Vive. That's exactly what you want to hear, Sam. I think it was Joy Vive who jokingly said that what I desire most is a captive audience. But I think Sam also has that energy in her. Nancy, but I hated it. I sold over $1 million a year for a long time. Felt dead inside. Yeah. Because again, it's not about the money. It's not about the money, it's about a sense of purpose. If your purpose is just selling a thing that you have absolutely no connection to, that you have no personal care about. Have you actually, talking about Doc Dad, have you reached out to the Dynavap place? I do believe they have a contact with the vape store here in South Africa, because when I had my whole issue with my cap, and this one has been performing exactly as expected, they had like a direct contact. They sent a message full of my photos as well. I don't think people are rich enough in South Africa to actually want to buy these things though. That's probably another thing to consider. Captive audience, hostage audience. No one's leaving until I'm done speaking. Yeah, exactly. Don't confuse complaining with a cry for help. I mean, again, right? Again, like, cry for help. Like, if Doc Dad is crying for help, uh, all of us are going to be put in a rough position. Because none of us are in the position to help Doc Dad right now. It will cost us, for me, I mean, I wouldn't even be able to do it in the first place, but even if I could, it would cost me thousands of dollars in travel fees. If you had to do it, it will cost you hundreds of dollars in travel fees. And then all of the days of work you'd have to miss would be hundreds of dollars stacked on top of it. Right? Maybe you'll lose your jobs for just leaving, so you'll lose thousands of dollars on top of that. So, right, on that fractal, I feel communicating again, right? Because in a weird way, all of us have to identify with the masculine side of our consciousness in this stream. Because the part of us that keeps showing up day by day by day is unchanged, right? And technically, through this medium, we're only seeing consciousness, right? Even though I know Joy Vive is a woman, right? A female, or whatever, as they say these days, that doesn't change the fact to me that I'm reading her words as a person, as a conscious person, right? Like, it doesn't matter to me what she identifies as, kind of fractal. So from that perspective, since we're talking to consciousness first, we are talking to a masculine identified, or at least in my mind, a masculine polarized part of self. And then when you're offering problems, or when you're communicating problems, when you're crying for help, you're going to find that people want to help in this space. And when it comes to the physical, for example, right, like, oh man, there's like a bunch of these bricks, and they're so heavy, and I have to move them from point A to point B. Oh man, if only I had help moving these bricks. Oh, shucks. Oh man, these bricks are so heavy, and I don't have help. Oh, shucks. Right? You see what I mean? Like, you're gonna be like, yo, get over it, Melt. just move the bricks, dude. None of us are there to help you, right? At least that's my mind. But if you were here, now suddenly a cry for help, can go as, hey, can you, points at, help me, points at bricks. Can you help me, please? I would appreciate your help. Now a cry of help can actually be reached. At least that's the way I see it, right? Duck, I think that if you refrain from getting into the salesman role and just talk about yourself a little bit, people will receive the message and maybe you won't feel so dead. Exactly, Mal. Every time I get a new sales job, I'd say, time to sell a new widgets. Yeah, exactly. It has to be something you care about, bro. It has to be something you care about. And in my mind, like for me, it's brand, right? I'm selling myself day by day. And you friends are buying pieces of me with your eyes right now by watching. I don't know why I would articulate it like that. Why are you like this? Articulations, please do. But yes, technically that is what's happening. And where I used to work in sales as well, and I used to, again, right, sell an image of myself. I would pretend to be whatever my customer needed me to be in order for them to like me, in order for them to purchase my products. Right? At that point in my life, I was selling video conferencing gear for companies that wanted to do high definition video conferencing. Right? So it was big markup tickets. But in the same way, I feel like the dead insideness didn't come so much from the not not feeling like I have the liberty to be myself. It was coming from the understanding that in this moment I cannot be myself. I absolutely undeniably cannot be myself, right? If I for a second be myself, then this person is gonna go running in the opposite direction, right? And that is pretty soul, destroying, at least in my mind. It's raining, so I won't be stepping outside until there's a break. It sure does sound nice, bless. It's nice and dreary. I like being inside and cozy in the rain. Same. And it's been that way here, right? And I'm staying inside. I can still see the outside from here. But I literally came inside underneath the roof because it's so dreary outside today. It's funny how we talk about being inside with being under a roof. I kind of feel like it's apt. A product. Wait a second. For me, being an introvert or shy or whatever, I never understood trying to sell something to someone. They want it or they don't. A product sells itself. Josh Mo saying the same. Your efforts and attention to detail in all of the work that you do is a big part of how great your product is. Don't need to sell pants. They just need to sell your story. Even though I do agree with you, Joe Schmo, it is unfortunately a matter of a business, right? If I want to start a clothing brand, for example, and I do, and I will in time, but for me to do it the way that I would want to do it right now, I would need like between $20,000 and $40,000, and then I would have to divvy that $20,000 to $40,000 up in like quarters, so between $5,000 and $10,000 a pop, and then I would have to find a company, probably in China, that I can really stand by. Be like, I'll send me some of your products, let me feel the material quality, let me print some of my work on your material to see what it looks like after it's done. Right, I'll have to go through that whole iterative process, and then in order to actually get these products done, I would have to again buy between $5,000 and $10,000 worth of merchandise. And now suddenly I have a literal multiple metric tons of merchandise, of product that needs to be sold, right? And sure, there'll be shirts, there'll be scarves, there'll be pants, there'll be blankets, right? And people need blankets, people need shirts, people need pants, people need scarves or whatever. But getting them to buy it from me is gonna be still very much. I'm gonna have to be a salesman kind of fractal, and it is true what you're saying, Joshua. Like all you really need to do is sell your story in that fractal. But some people won't give you the time of day, dude. Some people will not give you the time of day. So my antidote to that is I'll give my time of day. For me too, Nancy. I'm also an introvert by nature. I don't actually enjoy being outside. But I learn and I grow and I enjoy talking to people and having new novel experiences. That I enjoy. Actually being outside, I don't find much enjoyment in that itself. And I'm synonymizing outside with going out, right? Going to some place where a bunch of other people are. Mm. It is true, Zano. Ideally, in the long future, we can close the gap. Mel, I can finally confess to you as a friend. I have an insectoid alien in a skin suit. The skin suit is kinda itchy and ill-fitting, so I'll prefer to not be out in public in it. I get that. I'll have to request of you to start taking off your skin suit. Because I would like to see the true you. No, Mel, you'll be horrified. I like being horrified. Like, if you've seen what I've seen, apparently I like being horrified. Like, for me, the experience of being horrified balances me to even appreciate more than not being horrified. Right? The experience of awe, of love, of appreciation of this world and my role in it. The more horrified I get, the more I appreciate that. At least that's the way I have to articulate to myself to make sense of some of the psychedelic experiences I've had. Every single time, without fail. Without fail. When I try and take psychedelics, I experience the darkest aspects of humanity. I get horrified. To say it in so many words, I get horrified. And then I have to, in that horrified state, cope with it. Accept. I have to be like, oh, and this too. And this too. Yes, all of this beauty, all of this magnificence, all of this divinity that is you, and this too. And then as soon as I get to a point where I'm like, yeah, and this too, I get everything else. All of the beauty that is technically all around me becomes more available once I accept. And this too. Alright. What kind of you to remind me about my tinfoil hat? Why would you think that a friend's comfort just with words isn't enough? What if it helps to put wind back in their sails? Again, this is the point I'm making, Zano. This is not me trying to be cold. This is not me trying to be insensitive. This is not me trying to be demeaning or conceding or condescending of Duck Dad or his potential struggles. That's not what it is at all. For me, it's again about the principle, right? The principle of every single time we use our power, we use our mouths, we use our fingers, We use our minds to believe something about this world by stating it, right? Like it's like, it's like truth. It's like truth, right? Whatever you are stating in this moment, even though I believe that the ultimate truth is love, right? That allows this truth to arise. If you believe something to be a truth, if I believe there are insectoid aliens conspiring to, eat me, and I believe that, and everywhere I look, every single time I see an insect, I convince myself that the insectoid aliens have sent that insect to fuck with me, right? Whether or not it's true, me echoing that, me thinking that over and over again, me telling you guys, the insectoid aliens are fucking with me again, right? That might sound like a cry for help, but it's still something that I'm echoing as a truth into the world. And I believe in doing so, in the things you echo, there is power. So much power. Like a ridiculous amount of power. And that's what I was kind of commenting on, Zano. Not the actual thing, because if the same thing was said in a different way, I wouldn't have any grounds to stand on in trying to articulate this point, right? But I feel again, if there is this energy of hopelessness in your own messaging, right? You expecting other people to bring a hope back into your life will leave you feeling hopeless more often than not, right? And then the other side of that is bringing hopefulness into an experience with the exact same circumstances that is available to you. Right? Like that's the power. That's the mistake I feel I make more often than any other mistake. And when I see it in the world, I see it in myself. Right? And then again, this stream is meant to help us consciously evolve. Me too. So I have to say the certain things that this version of me needs to hear to learn the lessons I'm supposed to learn, right? From the mistakes that I've made. It's not supposed to be an insensitivity, quite the contrary. At least that's my intention. Took years of training for small talk. Yeah, agreed. Joy, skin suits are the worst. I know a guy who has a dry cleaning shop that does a pretty good job of removing the stains. Wealthy agreed. I understand on both sides of the concept. I just try to lean towards the more organic way of delivery and sales. For me, when I get mechanical, I lose my passion for it. Yeah, I believe I'm technically supposed to be in sales. But again, uh, there's nothing, and this is now ego. This is full ego speaking. So listen to my next words like Mel is being egotistical. But there's nothing that I can sell that is worth more than me. Maybe that can be a whole stream topic, right? There's nothing you can sell that's worth more than you, right? And this is like bringing up thoughts in my mind about like sex work as well. It's like a whole fractal there. Because the way I'm seeing it is that you are so valuable that you cannot be sold. But ultimately, in this world, we are selling parts of ourselves. Sometimes we're selling our labor. Sometimes we're selling our brains, our intellect. Sometimes we're selling our bodies, right? What does it mean to sell yourself? Not your body, not your mind, not your intellect, not your labor, but the self that you are. Is it pure? Is it evil to sell that self? I would like to believe not, because that would put my whole work into question. Right? But still, I think it's a good question to ask ourselves. I'm so bad at small talk. I get weird real fast. Yeah. Small talk is pretty easy, I say condescendingly. Small talk is literally just asking questions. Alright? Just ask questions. Relentlessly. That's the way I do it. If I get awkward, I start asking questions. And then eventually I hit a beat. Eventually I like find a groove. Right? It's like all of us have a bunch of roller coasters. Straight line, and then extends into two more straight lines, and then extends into two more straight lines, and then extends into two more straight lines, right? That's fractal in nature. And people have those fractals inside their brains. And questions is basically you pulling these strings in their brains. You see what they say with their mouthies. And then sometimes, right, with a question you ask, instead of it just going dong, it will go dong 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 dong, and they'll and boom, now you're having a meaningful conversation, right? So yeah, ask questions, small talk, and it is practice. You are right, dear friends. You are very much right. It does take years of training, but it is practice. And it is technically easy when you break it down to just ask questions. Show interest, right? Interesting people show interest. They're not interesting because they've got so much going on. They're interesting because they care about you. They ask you questions, and then your questions allow them to accentuate, in the conversation. And then in that accentuation, you notice interest in them. And then you can say things about the things they said. And then they say things back to you. Whoa, melt describes conversation. Love is true. All right. I don't like looking at my heart and soul as a monetary equivalent to my worth. I just feel backwards to me in a lot of ways. And I agree with this, Pojo. And it's been messing with me because I am literally, in my mind, selling my soul, right? But instead of selling my soul to something in the way that it was traditionally articulated, right? Like selling my soul to the devil, going to a crossroads and doing some ritual, and then a demon spawns next to me, and then I make a deal, and then my soul is sold, right? That's the one fractal of selling your soul. But the way I see it is more a exchange that's happening, right? Because the soul I have right now to give you in this moment will cease to exist eventually, or at least momentarily, technically as well. After I finish the stream, I'll go on with my life, right? I'll shower, I'll eat food, 10 years will pass, and I'll probably forget that this moment ever happened, right? At least with the level of clarity that I am in this moment right now, right? And at the same time, there is something being given here, right? My soul is being given, being sold into this experience, right? Like I'm paying my dues, right? Selling my soul. I don't like this. I think it's again a word thing, right? Because selling again feels like you are reducing something to a monetary value. Like in that, again, your soul cannot be quantified in that. And again, this isn't about monetary value for me either. I think maybe that's the other thing. I feel where it gets a little bit difficult is the fact that I have rent to pay and food to eat. And that makes it a little bit difficult because as I'm giving my soul, which is something that I feel I'm supposed to do, right? It's not something I feel if I do, then I'll make money, then I'll eat food. It's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. The make money and eat food will have to be figured out afterwards, right? It's like, again, I have to sell this because that's what's actually of value. That's the thing I am carrying of value. And once it's gone, there's no recreating it. Maybe there will be. But again, there won't be as it is right now. Like I have been spending so much time in awe of the fact that I can see. Right? Do you really acknowledge the fact that you can see every now and then? I'm even doing deja vu opening this conversation. Just looking out into the world and noticing how much detail you can notice. Textures, imperfections, scratches, breaks, maybe some bugs, maybe some dirt on windows, maybe electric lines, maybe trees, maybe the cracks in bricks, maybe the discoloration between them, maybe the bumps of your yoga mat, maybe the way the wind moves little strings hanging down onto gravity. Right? The fact that I can see these things, and I'm actively seeing them at all times. There's just this continuous feed of experience happening through this biological system. Right? That is so special. That's so special. And again, we make the mistake of believing it's not. How long do we want to make that mistake for? We've been making that mistake for a while now. Like, we've made the mistake billions of times, hundreds of billions of times we've been making that mistake. I feel it's time to stop. It's time to stop. I don't like looking at my heart. I think I read one. Survival in a dollar-driven system. I get it. It's just one man's opinion, and I love your opinions, bro. I think YouTube is a sales job. Actually, it is 100%. I am selling myself, and then if you friends buy what I'm selling, I get to sell you more stuff. Right? That's technically the YouTube sales model. And even though I don't really want to be that, right? I don't want to see you friends as technically, right, through that lens, as products. Like, oh yeah, now I have all of these products that I can now monetize, right? That is not who I want to be. I want to create a space that people want to find themselves within, right? Me giving my soul generates a space that people want to find themselves within. And then if there are things to eat and things to drink, clothing to wear, arts that they can take home with them, right, to appreciate, to me, in my mind, that feels like I'm not trying to exploit, but trying to accentuate. I'm trying to make your life more full with my giving to it. My soul, right, giving to this world makes this world more full. And I feel the other side of it is like an emptying, right? Emptying your bank account, emptying you for every dollar that you're worth, right? That's not the relationship I want to have with myself, again, right? Like trying to empty myself. It's not an emptying, it is a giving. Which again, like there's power in words. The words I choose to use in my own mind when I do things and when I give of myself influences the energy I give with and the way I feel in giving. There we go. I just don't think I understand. If there is a lesson in anything, it's how to accept someone speaking their truth. It may not be your truth, but to me it's very important to hold space for people's struggles. I hear what you're saying, Zano. I'm not saying that they're, like, again, right? Duck Dad could share his struggles. This is me backseat commenting right now. But the fractal again can go, I have so many plants that I'm taking care of right now. It is an extreme challenge. It feels heavy, but I feel strong in carrying this load. Sharing his struggles, right? All of us can hear, shit, Duck Dad is carrying heavy right now. But at the same time, instead of me feeling bad for him, I can cheer him on, right? And I feel like that's something that I want to maybe establish in my own life, right? Like, complaining doesn't make people feel good, right? It just makes people feel powerless. And if powerlessness is something that we are literally talking about as a struggle, then inducing more of that powerlessness into your community, it should be the last thing that you would try to do, right? That's the point I'm making, right? I don't know if it's supposed to be understood. I'm not exactly the most understandable person sometimes, but that is the way I feel. Right? Maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe I am. Maybe this is the mistake I'm supposed to make today, and maybe I'll learn from this mistake going forward. But this is my heart in this moment. I ask lots of questions. I'm nosy, Sam. Good. But maybe be nosy until you find something that a person don't mind you being nosy about, and then talk about that. That's what I do, right? And I can gauge people's sensitivities to certain topics, and I'll quickly move on if I see them suddenly being scared of me. All right, like taki, and then suddenly a person goes, "Oh, wait a second, I'm having a conversation with this person, and this person is peering into my soul, isn't he?" And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I want to see. I want to see who's hiding underneath all of the layers of societal bullshit. Who's hiding under there? I have a thing for information. I really like it. Same, same. Okay, going to go and listen to the rain and sip my coffee. Enjoy the day slash evening, everyone. Bless you, Nancy. Thank you for joining us, friend. What's my intention? My intention is to forgive myself of the mistakes I make and to learn from them. That feels appropriate. I'm on 6% on my tablet right now. All right. You ready for a card? I know I am. Oh, I've already wrote this deck out, but I think I'm gonna pull from the other one. It is sacred geometry time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. That is pretty. These two cards will be the ones we pull today. Why two? I don't know. I don't know why two. Green? There's some green in there. But it's not the core color. I think there's a helicopter. Orange? Not much orange. I mean, there's some orange again. Big thing flew over us. We got some yellow and purple energy. Swallow the sun and new beginnings. A mother birthing life into a baby, and a bright burning star that we call our sun. Shadowy contrast being casted by swallows flying all around. I'll read Swallow the Sun first, because our swallowing the sun induces so much energy inside our beings that there cannot help but be new beginnings afterwards. So this one first. Card number 19. Dreams and visions. All right. The sun is celebrated throughout the world as a giver of life, and in some cultures as a god. Both the ancient Greeks and Romans worship one or more solar deities, and in Hindu literature, the sun is mentioned as the visible form of God that we can see every day. Aztec, Incan, and Egyptian traditions all held the sun in godly accord. Whatever your spiritual belief, it is clear that our sun represents a psychological principle that transcends time and place. A little Burby just came and landed and looked at me. The vibe and its ability to illuminate and guide you. Swallow, swoop, and play in the solar portal, encouraging you to see a light-hearted reflection of your dreams and visions. Dreams, whether in sleep or the musings of reverie, will offer clues to your internal process. Vision directs your path and offers a sense of purpose, vitality, and life force. What messages have your dreams offered lately? What progress are you making towards the realization of your vision? Meditate with this card and consider these questions. Do not be hard on yourself if you are not happy with your progress. Realize that when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into this reality. So, yeah. I feel like we were really like talking about something in stream today, and I was trying to like defend where I was coming from. And this card just feels like such a beautiful, yeah. Realize that when you push too hard, you may actually be resisting the thing that you most desire. Relax with your positive intentions as you bring your finest dreams and visions into fruition. You are a very powerful being, and I cannot tolerate you believing anything else. New beginnings to new beginnings. Breath, prana, and birth. This is a card of new beginnings and renewed life force. The Mother Goddess passes on the breath of life, the vital, life-sustaining force of living, prana, as the child is birthed into this plane of existence. Hearts formed from golden spirals carry the energy of deep love to this new beginning. Pulling this card indicates that new beginnings are expanding your life. Breathe into this new energy and feel the life force residing there. Follow the prana in your breath as you inhale and exhale. Feel how your energy is renewed with each breath. Picture yourself breathing life into each new beginning. Whether you are birthing a child, a relationship, a creative project, or a bunch of plants. Inhale life force into your lungs and heart, and then exhale prana into your endeavor. Feel the evolution of your new beginnings filled with life force and success. Recognize how the events of your life activate new beginnings each and every day with each and every breath, with each and every fresh viewpoint. Rebirth, 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 rebirth again, again rebirth. Reality melts around you, but you continue. Melt more, dear friends. You will be fine. You will be so fine. We're gonna be even finer as we continue into this future. It's gonna be a wild ride. But we are a culture of people who build roller coasters. So, what did you expect? You thought it was gonna be easy? Thought this was gonna be nilly willy? Just stroll around, no troubles in your life. No, no mistakes. Mistakes will be made. Mistakes will be made. This is unfortunately a part of it. I like the purple one. Me too. That like luscious hair, breathing the life. Our beloved Jovan has lovingly sent us a goodbye message. Thank you. Thank you, Jo. I'll say, have the most beautiful day, everyone. You're for realsers and truthies, oh, absolutely adored. Musing Meltmore and all of you. Oh, so purposefully present, consciously conscientious, resolutely resplendent, tactfully transcendent, studiously stellar, undeniably uplifting, freakishly fresh, amazingly absolute, wholesome, humanimal critter creatures learning and evolving from the mistakes we've made. Damn. That is some love right there. I thank you, dear friends, for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.